Let me start with a confession. Most people think their show up problem is a technical problem. Wrong. It's a psychology problem because here's the truth. People don't skip your webinar because they're busy. They skip because in their mind, nothing bad happens if they don't show up. And once you flip 7 tiny psychological switches, just 7, your show up rate jumps from 30 to 50% consistently. I've done it with beginners, pros, and people who didn't even know what funnel software was. So let me show you how to do it step by step. A few years ago, I had this client, let's call her Sophia. Sophia ran an online coaching business. Smart woman, great content, but her webinars, ghost town. And she told me the line that we've all heard: Carlos, people register, and then they just disappear. You know the tone of someone who's been betrayed by their own email list. So I dug into the reminders, the registration page, the copy, everything, and I realized something shocking. She did everything right, but nothing human. Perfect design, perfect structure, completely dead emotionally. So I told her, let's stop trying to be perfect and let's start trying to be psychologically irresistible. We changed 7 things in total. Very small things, almost invisible. Next webinar, 40% show up rate. The following one, 66%. Same topic, same audience, just different psychology. All right, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get into the 7. Look, people don't act unless there's contrast. Pain versus benefit, gain versus loss, and most creators only highlight the gain. But loss aversion is 2.5 times stronger in human decision making. So you need a line, one clean line that says, if you miss this session, you'll keep making the same mistake that's been holding you back. And the second trigger we changed was the following. You need to understand this first. Vague outcome equals vague commitment. Specific outcome equals emotional lock-in. So say this, in the first 7 minutes, I will show you the exact script we use to turn cold traffic into warm buyers. Do you see it? First 7 minutes. This forces them to attend early. People love starting what they finish. So your show up rate goes up dramatically if you use this trick. Another thing that we used, the third trigger that we used, was the identity priming. It's a quick one. Humans act based on identity, not intention. So you prime them with something like, if you're registered, it means you're the type of person who shows up, even when life gets loud. It's subtle, it's respectful, and it frames them as a committed person before they even do anything. Identity leads behavior, always. Now, the fourth trigger I call social proof of action and not social proof of success. Everyone shows results. Almost nobody shows attendance behavior as proof. Now try this. Last time, 372 entrepreneurs showed up live and stayed until the end. Now that's psychological gold because people don't want to be the one who bailed on the room. Show success, they admire you. Show attendance, they will join you. Now the fifth trigger that we changed, I call it the early commitment hook. Sometimes you want people to make a micro commitment the second they register. Simple stuff. Reply yes to confirm you're in, or screenshot this and save the date, or things like vote on what topic you want covered first. The act of responding makes them feel invested. Investment creates obligation. Obligation creates attendance. And yes, humans are predictable. The sixth trigger that we used, I call it the personalized reminder. Robotic reminders kill show up rates. Warm human reminders increase it by 20 to 30%. We tested this. So say things like, hey, it's Carlos, I'm making coffee and reviewing the slides now. See you in an hour. This makes the event alive, real, in motion. People show up to things that they feel alive. And the seventh thing that we changed, I call this the seventh trigger. It's the pre-win effect. Give them something small before the event, obviously, that helps them immediately. Something like a checklist or a 1-minute framework, a before you attend, answer this question. This creates the feeling of, I already got value. Imagine what the webinar will be like. A pre-win equals a pre-commitment, and a pre-commitment equals attendance. Here's the simplest, fastest way to implement all 7 triggers today. So this is your 24-hour show up boost sequence, okay? After the registration confirmation page and everything else went down, this is your first email that you send, okay? Add an identity prime plus a micro promise that we just talked about. That was one of the triggers. Now, in the second email, 12 hours later, add a social proof of attendance. This is where you tell people how many people attended the last webinar and stayed till the end. And the third email, 2 hours before the whole thing starts, give them a personalized reminder tone. This is one of the triggers that we talked about. And then attach a mini pre-event attachment, something like a one-page sheet, cheat sheet, or prompt, or anything that they could use immediately before the webinar even starts. Now, if you do these 5 things, show up rate will go up every single time. We tested this. It works. Now, if you want the advanced version, add a short voice note as a reminder. Yes, a voice note. You can just do this with SoundCloud, for example. 30 seconds. Send an email or a DM. It increases show up more than any written reminder because now they can hear your intention. Humans show up for humans. If you want part 2 of the 7 triggers that increases conversions, let me know and I will make that next. But until then, I invite you to subscribe, leave a comment, and see you in the next one.